So let's take a moment to light our candles. So I'm going to go ahead and light my candle. And once yours is lit, go ahead and just kind of hold it up to your screen and we can just see the light of all the candles. That's so beautiful. That makes me really happy. Awesome. And in a moment, we're going to go ahead and take a breath together. And I think actually what I'd like to do is to stand up to take that breath. So you can go ahead and put your candle down. I'm going to go ahead and place mine next to the ascending angel over here. And yeah, let's go ahead and just take a moment to stand up. And if you feel comfortable unmuting yourself, go ahead and unmute yourself so that we can hear each other's out breath. So feel free to unmute just for a moment, just because it's delicious to hear each other's breaths and just weave our breaths together. And I want to invite you to go ahead and just take a delicious breath in, right into the center of your heart, out with a sigh or sound. In a moment, we'll take another breath together. Before we do, just find a stretch for any place in your body that could just use a little stretch, a little extra embodiment, a little more aliveness, a little more, just gentle listening, gently listening to your body. And let's go ahead and just take another breath together. Deep breath in and out. Oh, it's such a nourishing sound. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and mute you all again, so you shouldn't have to worry about muting yourself. And let's go ahead and sit down, and let's get this party started. So let's see, I have to pin myself here. All right. Excuse me. So let me just adjust my screen here. Okay, all the things that have to happen. Okay, so I wanted to make this interaction interactive as much as possible. So I just have a couple of questions for you to welcome you, and you can type your answers into the chat box. So again, I just want to welcome all of you for being here. Nicola has joined us. Irina has joined us since we started. Janae has joined us. Welcome. Angelica has joined us. Nicole has joined us. Khadija has joined us. Valencia, Marjorie, Sarah, Gina has joined us. Beth. And if I didn't name you, Sarah, if I didn't name you, welcome, welcome, welcome. So go ahead and type in the chat box if this resonates with you, if you are a yes. So the first question that I have for you is, are you ready to create your business from a relaxed schedule that allows for downtime and family time and that is also profitable? If that resonates with you, creating a business from a relaxed place that allows for downtime and travel. Great. Oh, everybody's saying yes. Nicola, Artemis, Jennifer, Stephanie, Irina, Kathleen, Solara, beautiful. Jerica, oh, I like that name. Jenny, Gail, Denise, saying yes. Viv says yes. Awesome. Thank you. And are you open to receiving some tips today to turn your ideas into money-making courses and programs? If that resonates with you, if that's why you're here, you're probably in the right place. Beautiful, getting yeses through the chat box. Kathleen, Kimberly, welcome Kimberly. Charlotte, Marjorie says yes. Marjorie says, oh yes, with an exclamation point. Angelica says, I never thought I would be ready to make a course, but I am. Woohoo, awesome. So welcome to 3 Keys to Create a Profitable Online Course. And I am going to be using the word course and the word program interchangeably. So sometimes I'll say course, sometimes I say program, and in the context of today, I mean the same thing. So I just very briefly, who I am, although I think most of you know me, I'm Jessica Hadari, and I support spiritually oriented women business owners to build prosperous, heart-centered businesses in restful and feminine ways. I'm the founder of FemTalks, which has been a sanctuary of women's events and community for spiritual leaders and healers for 10 years. And I've been a business coach for 15 years. I'm a master business coach, which just means other business coaches hire me because of my intuition and my wisdom. And I really believe that the most important business strategy is really around weaving the sacred into every part of your business. So this class is part of a series. The first of the series was really about using ritual to nourish your business and nourish yourself as an awakened woman leader, because that's where everything has to start, right? That's the foundation. If we're not connected to our spiritual practices and to source or our higher self, then kind of what's the point? The second class was really looking at the big picture. Where is your business headed? What's the big picture? Where is this all going? What if you could build a business that allowed you to give back philanthropically during times like this? Because this class is happening during the COVID-19 pause. I'm also passionate about, and then this master class is we're getting a little more specific. It's like, okay, now that we've connected to source and really engaged in our spiritual practices and our self-care, we've taken a look at the big vision, the dream of our business. Now we can start creating these more specific things like courses and programs from an aligned place, from a place that's aligned with our intuition, aligned with our spiritual practices, aligned with our bigger vision. And I'm also really passionate about women owning their medicine, especially right now. So owning your medicine, owning your business as medicine for the world. And I want you to just ask yourself, and I'll type this into the chat box, are you owning your medicine in your messaging? Are you owning your medicine in your pricing? Are you owning your medicine when you're out in the world talking about your business or your healing? So I think that we're in this moment, this pause, that's really powerful, where we are being asked to dig a little bit deeper and like to really look at and own like what is the bigger, deeper purpose for your business and for the offerings that you're birthing out into the world. So I'm going to have you stand again. It's a little bit like church because I want to invite you, I'm going to take you into a visualization, but I want you to feel like you can access this visualization and the parts that resonate with you to access that with your body. So I'm going to go ahead and invite you to stand. Now, if you feel more comfortable sitting, if that's how you feel powerful and grounded right now, feel free to continue sitting. But I'm going to take a power pose. I've got my legs akimbo, my knees are bent. I'm going to take a goddess pose here. And I want to invite you, whether you're seated or whether you're standing, to go ahead and close your eyes. And I want to just invite you to just take a moment to take a breath and just get really present with what's going on in your body. And I want you to just imagine that you are living this future fabulous life. You are owning your medicine. You are the go-to trusted expert and community leader in your field. You've built your audience. You've grown your email list. You've grown your following. You've created community around your message. You've designed your business to serve even deeper, but in a way that allows for plenty of downtime and rest and travel. And your teachings, maybe they reach beyond the area that you live. Most of you are in the Bay Area, so just breathing into the reality of your teachings reaching beyond the Bay Area, or maybe even internationally. Just take a moment to take a breath. Breathing into this bigger future vision of being able to make sizable donations to organizations you care about. Taking a breath into the vision of your business acting as a vessel for wealth that gives back during crisis. I want you to imagine that you have multiple streams of income, you have spaciousness to pursue your creative desires and your projects. And I want you to just breathe into that, the pieces that feel resonant, the pieces that feel close, like you already have them, the pieces that feel far away. But just breathing into this beautiful possibility, this beautiful vision of yourself as this empowered woman leader, bringing deep medicine to the planet. And let's go ahead and just take another breath together. Thank you. So you can go ahead and open your eyes and go ahead and find your seat again. All right. So I just want to take a moment. We're about to dive in. I want to take a moment to acknowledge you. I want to appreciate you for being here, for being the kind of woman who is dedicated to really making a shift in your beliefs about what's possible for you, about what's possible for your ability to generate money while running a spiritually oriented business, even now. So you're here, you're in the right place if you have a lot of ideas and content and expertise, and you know that you could be monetizing with online offerings, but maybe you get a little overwhelmed or you're not quite sure how to get started. So hopefully this will be a bit of a start for you. If you're newer to business, if you're a newbie, maybe you don't yet have an audience, but you know that building one will help your business grow faster. Maybe it's been a slow process, building your audience. Maybe you have been at it for a while, but it's been slow. Then you probably know that having an online course will help establish your brand and grow community around your message. And it's possible that you're here also. There's like another group of women here who have very established businesses. You're rocking it, you've got an established business, but maybe you're kind of on the hamster wheel and wanting to scale without working harder. So you can ask yourself, how do I scale? How do I scale myself? How do I break through my earnings ceiling? How do I live the life I really want to live, to work remotely and travel more? So what we're going to cover today together are the 3 misconceptions that get in the way of creating a course that actually sells, that actually serves. We're going to talk about how to create your course quickly and easily. And we're also going to talk about how to guarantee your course's 6-figure potential, and the #1 way that the pros, that the wealthy entrepreneurs fill their courses. In fact, I'm going to actually share 2 ways that wealthy professional course leaders fill and sell their courses. And I'm also going to give you the 3 ingredients that professional course leaders include that guarantee income and noteworthy results for themselves, for their clients. And along the way, I'll give you some of the skills and tools that you've got to have in place in order to successfully launch. And I'm hoping that we'll have some time for some Q&A as well. So I'll just type this in the chat box for you, everything that we're going to cover. So I'm going to take a sip of water. I just drooled. All right, so I wanted to give you a little bit of insight into why and what kind of brought me to teach this particular masterclass. So I have a thriving 6-figure business. I work part-time. In the last 6 weeks during this pandemic, I've signed on 12 new high-paying clients. And they came to me because I've set my business up to weather the ups and downs. I'm also very grateful that my family and loved ones are healthy at this time. Very grateful. In fact, I just want to take a moment to for all of us to just send our loving energy out into the world, out to people that we know that are touched in many various intense ways right now, and even people that we don't know, to just take a moment to just take a breath for everyone who's in this with us together. So I'm feel very grateful that my family and loved ones are healthy at this time. I also want to name that I have a really wonderful partner who I'm really enjoying honeymooning with now during shelter in place. So I have a lot to be grateful for. In 2014, I was suffering from chronic fatigue, an autoimmune disease, and I had been on food stamps for a couple of years because I was too debilitated to really work. And I was living in a small apartment. I was in a stifling marriage. And in fact, the stress of my marriage was making me more ill because he was also in financial scarcity and I had no way out financially. I couldn't leave. I was stuck in a painful body. I was stuck in a very painful marriage. And I was stuck in an apartment that felt like a cage. And I had to make a decision. I could either keep going down this path and continue kind of suffering as a victim. I could try to find a job while grappling with debilitating illness, or I could forge a new path and really launch my dream business. I'm going to do a little screen share here with you. Bear with me for 1 second. Technology. Here we go. Okay. So I'm going to screen share with you just a couple of times during our time together, and then I'll take you out of screen share. So hopefully you can see this. Hold on 1 second. I just want to make sure. Thank you so much for your patience. So first of all, can I get a thumbs up if you can see the little slide? Okay, awesome, great, thank you. Okay, so we're just gonna be here for a moment. So I ended up creating a course and I earned $7,000 in sales in 1 month. I was on food stamps, right? It was like zero income, rock bottom. Over the next few months with my course, I earned $20,000. And this gave me the confidence to actually start to leave my marriage and in loving ways with my spouse. But then on top of my already debilitating illness, I got shingles on my face. So you may notice that I have some paralysis on my face. And I was in excruciating pain for about 3 months and lingering pain through my face and my neck and my arm for about a year. But because I had already built this really incredible course that was already gaining momentum, I was able to rest, I was able to replenish, I was able to receive, I could engage in radical self-care, and I could continue to sell my program in relaxed feminine ways, or as I like to say, making money in my underwear, right? AKA working from the comfort of my home sanctuary. And within a year, I earned $60,000 with my course, resting, replenishing, and engaging in radical self-care. And I was able to help my clients successfully launch as well. So if you're able to see the screen share, here is beautiful Amanda Eloesh. She's the founder of Church of Living Wisdom. She sold her first $10,000 program course. Now she also has a really beautiful, sustainable, six-figure business as an ordained medicine woman, as a healer.
Jessica, can you switch from desktop to just that application?
Sure. You know what? I'm not gonna do it right now because I'm having a little bit.
Just because we're seeing your notes, so that's not what I think that you want us to see.
I totally understand, and I'm about to switch out of screen share. Yeah. Right. So yeah. And I also Susan Kirby, which some of you might know from Thrive, she also joined my program and ended up earning $26,000 with one speaking gig. She actually spoke at one of my events. So I'm super, super grateful. I'm going to go ahead and get out of this because I know it's a little problematic. So now I have a restful six-figure business working part-time. my existing program clients are in total love fest with each other. So even though I do private one-on-one coaching, all of my clients are part of my programs, my circles with each other. And as well, I also now have about 25 women clients who themselves run six-figure and multiple six-figure businesses. So this brings me to this masterclass right here. Today, I'm not only going to share my wisdom, but I'm also going to share the wisdom that I've received learning and partnering and befriending with other women, other wealthy, heart-based industry leaders. And I'm going to give you a ton of helpful information in the time that we have. And for those of you who want more, I will let you know how we can work together. I'm not going to do any selling during this call. This is really for you. It's meant to be 90 minutes of content. So let's go ahead and dive in. So let's dive into create and launch your profitable online course. For those of you that joined a little bit late, I wanted to name again that I am recording this. This recording will not be made public. It's just for the women who couldn't be here. And I'm also going to use the word course and the word program interchangeably. So this first piece is the 3 ingredients that all wealthy course creators include that guarantee income and noteworthy growth for their businesses and the results for their clients. So for this past 10 years, I partnered with a number of millionaires in the world of heart-centered entrepreneurship: Charlotte Jacobs, Penelope Jane Smith, Marissa Murgatroyd, Katarina Rando, Shannon Granger, Bill Barron. And because I partnered and befriended these amazing change makers for over a decade, I've gotten to interface with their teams and see the back end of how they run their businesses and their courses. So I've come to see that there are common ingredients that these wildly unique and wildly successful entrepreneurs all have in common. And the ingredients that they all have in common, I'll go ahead and type this in the chat box, are, here we go. Clear message, a cornerstone program, and a team of power partners. So I'm going to give you lots of examples today, because seeing the actual examples of success and hearing the behind the scenes and how they did it is one of the most powerful ways to learn. In fact, storytelling, you can write this down. Storytelling is a really powerful teaching tool that you can also weave into your courses. So prepare to be inspired. So the first piece is having a clear message. Having a clear message. So you should be able to share about your course with others in a way that they immediately understand the impact and the value of your course even before it's ready to be launched. So the number one mistake that I see, especially women healers, like heart-based women entrepreneurs make, is, or I would say one skill that most women light workers really need to elevate, is having clean, clear messaging that really emotionally connects to people. So it's really common, especially if you're birthing something new, to not be able to talk about your work, your healing, your course in a way that people really understand the value and the depth, and they want to just, pay you right then and there. So I'm gonna attempt another screen share. let's see how it goes. All right, so hopefully I'm doing it right this time. Yes, I think I did it right this time. Okay. All right, so this is Anna. So when I first started working with Anna, she, hold on a second, I just want to check because people are messaging me. And I just want to double check. Awesome. Okay, great. Yay. Okay, screen share is working. We're all in this together. Okay, so Anna, gosh, when I first met her, her messaging wasn't clear. It caused overwhelm and confusion, and we just tweaked how she talked about her program so that she was really making an emotional connection. And she, about a week later, ended up selling her first $10,000 program. And it was easy. It was an easy sell. So clear messaging, and therefore marketing automatically elevates your brand. It automatically starts to establish you as the trusted go-to expert. Really clean, clear messaging is kind of the key to people immediately wanting to buy your course and hire you and pay you well. So the way that you talk about your course needs to feel magnetic, it needs to feel powerful, and it needs to kind of have that ooh-ah factor, right? Even before you're ready, it's ready to be launched. So the second ingredient that all wealthy course creators include is that they, like when I look around at all of the course creators I know that have a multiple six-figure level of business, or they're at the millionaire level, and I'm not giving these examples because I think that you need to have these goals. It's totally fine if you have zero interest in growing your business to multiple six-figure or seven-figure, but there is this key ingredient when I look at seasoned and profitable course leaders, is they all have a cornerstone program, a cornerstone course that is priced at around the $2,000 to $3,000 level. So I'm just going to show you a couple of examples here. So the first example is, okay, here we go. Let me pull this up here real quick, because I want you to see these lovely, lovely folks. Okay, sorry for the clunkiness. Oh, here we go. Okay, perfect. Here we go. Now you know this incredible woman. You probably know all of these incredible women. So the first example that I'm going to share with you is Sage Levine, Sage Levine. So she's a millionaire. She actually just had her annual event, which had to be moved online. She was expecting, I think, like 500 to 700 women at her live event down in Southern California. When she moved it online, 2,000 women ended up attending. And it was really, really incredible. She's an incredible inspiration. The next 3 examples, Sage, and the next 2 examples after her I'm going to give to you are all business coaches. And I just wanted to use business coaches as examples because I'm a business coach, but I truly believe that there is no such thing as competition. Like there's no part of me that is anything other than ecstatic sharing you these other incredible business coaches that are out there. So I just kind of do this, want to give these particular examples because they're, they are these incredible shining lights in the industry. So Sage has a cornerstone. She has bigger programs, right? Big fancy packages. She also has really bite-sized little, programs and courses that just cost $100 or a few $100. But she has a cornerstone program. Another really great example, a woman that you probably also know, is Maria Forleo. I'm going to go ahead and just reload this for you. So Maria also, you probably know her for her B School. Now she's a millionaire, so she definitely has bigger, fancier packages and programs that are part of her offerings. But her B School has been around for over 10 years. And the price has never gone up. It is her cornerstone program that she is known for, and she charges about $2,000 for it. Another really great example is Danielle Leslie. Give us a moment to pull up. I love Danielle. I just love her energy. Look at her pink lipstick. She's awesome. She also has this cornerstone program. I think she prices it at $3,000, and then when she's selling it, she kind of brings that down to about $2,000, about $1,700. So I just wanted to give you these examples of these incredibly inspiring, really fun women. A couple of other examples are also Justin Livingston, couple dudes, Justin Livingston, James Wedmore, also some names that you might be familiar with. who also they have that Cornerstone program. So I'm going to talk about this a little bit. It's totally fine if you're here in this masterclass wanting to just start out creating a course that's $300 or $500 or $1,000. That's totally fine. But if you are visioning a Cornerstone course that's priced at around $2,000, $3,000 that you can become known for, then I just want to say that you're on the right path. It can be a gateway program that deeply serves people, but also sets them up to want to work even more deeply with you over time. It also allows you to serve lots of people over time because you can have an online course that also has group program elements. So the $2,000, $3,000 program is also just a really easy sell. So I want you to just take a moment to just kind of vision for yourself. If you had a $2,000 course, what would it include? Would it be self-study only? Does it include some group support calls? What would your $5,000 course include? Maybe it includes some group calls and maybe a weekend retreat. What if you were to create a $10,000 course? What would your $10,000 course, maybe some kind of certification or a series of ceremonies or an exotic destination retreat? We could all visit Solara in Hawaii. So I have some homework for you. I just typed into the chat to just be in the kind of embodied inspiration when you leave our time together today to vision your next bigger course or program. You don't have to create a $10,000 program if that's not what you're ready for, but I want you to just open your vision just to what is an expansion past your glass ceiling. What does your $2,000 course look like? What does your $5,000 course look like? What does your $10,000 course look like? And beautiful, Alina kind of wrote down her ideas of what she's visioning, what she's planning. Beautiful, thanks Alina, gorgeous. Thank you for sharing your vision. So if you also feel called just to name some of these visions, feel free to type them in the chat box as we go. So the third ingredient that all wealthy course creators include is, and we're going to talk a little bit deeper about this in just a moment, they all have a team of power partners. They all are engaging in collaboration. Even though like Maria Forleo, like she is her brand, like it is just Maria. She's got this incredible team of supported cheerleaders who are out there also promoting her, connecting other people with her. So we're going to talk about how this works in just a moment. But let's just do a little recap. So the recap of the 3 ingredients that all wealthy course creators include in their business model is a clear message, a $2,000 to $3,000 cornerstone course program, and a team of power partners, which we'll talk about again in just a moment. So we're going to go ahead and talk about 3 misconceptions that a lot of women entrepreneurs have around creating and launching a profitable online course. So the first misconception is that your course is going to take a lot of time to create the content, that it's going to take a lot of time. And what I see, gosh, I've seen women take years hemming and hawing over the content of their someday future course. So it's one thing to be in visioning mode, right? Which is inspiring, you're connected to your creativity, but this kind of like taking hours and weeks and months and years isn't always necessary. I've also seen women do this while they're writing their books as well, that they have like this book that they're going to write someday and it just takes them years to like, I think what happens is we have all of this wisdom and expertise and we just kind of get overwhelmed in knowing what to include in our courses. So I'm going to give you some tips in just a second here. The truth is that you can actually create your course content incredibly quickly and clearly and easily. I'm going to take a sip of water. Mm. Oh, I love what women are sharing about their future courses. Awesome. Beautiful. Cecile says a trip to France on the path of Mary Magdalene. Beautiful. Alana says her $10,000 vision is tours of inspiring gardens, feng shui, your home, landscape design techniques, gorgeous. Solara shared is also exotic destination retreats in Shasta and Hawaii. Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. So one of the ways to create your course content quickly and clearly and easily, I actually got from one of my colleagues, mentors, Beth Barani. So Beth Barani is a multiply published author. She also is an award-winning author, and she helps she helps novelists. She's not so much involved in the world of entrepreneurship, but she helps people write their novels. She helps them kind of produce their novels, create and publish their novels. And I heard her giving a talk a few years ago, and I just loved this piece of wisdom. She said, when I'm connecting with my client about creating their book, she says the first step I have them do is create the table of contents. Just map out what are the chapters of your book, and just allow that to just kind of, sift through. And then once you've mapped out the table of contents for your book, then you just start filling in the chapters. You start filling it in from there. So that's the same advice that I give to my clients. Map out your course modules as if you were writing a book. Map out the table of contents, if you will, the chapters of your course. And then you can just start filling them in. Now, I want to also give you a little tip for that filling in process, because it's also possible to create a course that's so massive that it actually overwhelms your course participants. It's too much. It's like a fire hose. So how you can create your course content so that it really deeply serves your clients, but also without overwhelming them or underwhelming them, is you map out those modules like the chapters of a book. And then as you're ready to start filling in those modules, I'm going to type this into the chat box. You fill those modules in with micro lessons that inspire micro actions. This is really important. And this is the template right here. Just giving it to you. Micro lessons. So when you, let's see, I'm gonna type that in again because there was another message that pushed it up. So micro lessons that inspired micro actions. Here's the template. What are they about to learn? Why is it important? Give an example of how it's important or beneficial by telling a client story or a personal story or giving a statistic if that's appropriate. And tell them how to do it. Then you tell them how to do it. A lot of course creators that are newbies will just fill in their modules with just, here's how you do it, with no context of why it's so important. I've definitely been parts of workshops or courses where I'm just being kind of, they're just saying, do this, do that, without any, and it's like, if I don't understand why I would do that, then I'm going to be less enrolled to actually take action, which is the next piece, which is to make sure they take a micro action at each step, at each lesson in your course. They are taking some kind of action. And that could be as simple as journal something and share it with me, share it during our group call, or go share this now in the Facebook group, or filling out a worksheet, or some kind of little like homework that you're giving them. So that is really the template. So I just want to name, because I'm getting lots of questions in the chat, and part of the purpose of this call is to do a Q&A afterwards. And I really want to make sure that when I post something in the chat that everyone gets a chance to see it. So I want to invite you to just hold your questions because we have so much to get around to, and I do want to make sure that we have time for the Q&A. It's also hard for me to see where we are in the chat if there are a lot of questions coming in. So your course, each course lesson, each course module is just filled with lessons that are micro lessons that inspire micro actions, where you presence what they're about to learn, maybe with a little video or a little written guide. You presence why it's important. Tell a story, give a client example, a testimonial, tell a story from your own life, maybe give a statistic. So there's some kind of proof as to why this thing that you're about to teach them is important, and then tell them how to do it. Then say, hey, awesome, here's the 3-step process, or here's the 5-step process. And then make sure that you invite them to take an action so that they're not just passively learning, okay? So the second misconception is, the second misconception around creating and launching a profitable course is that you have to spend thousands of dollars and hours setting up a website or a membership site. And I have watched women waste thousands of dollars on a website or even on a course, somebody else creating that platform for them, and to painfully watch them do that before they have clear messaging, before they've even have solid offerings. So one of the best advices that I've gotten in my whole entrepreneurship career was from Jen August, who's just such a wonderful soul. She said, Jessica, don't ever buy any tech, like software or things like that, until you get to the point where you'll actually lose money if you don't have it. Don't buy software or tech until you get to the point where you're actually losing money if you don't have that thing. So the truth is, you can set up your course platform in just a few hours or even just a few minutes, depending on what you're using. And I'm gonna go ahead and type these resources into the chat box for you. So just real quickly, Teachable is my favorite. I noticed that a lot of the big course leaders that I named use Teachable. And what I love about Teachable is your content is yours. So anything you put on Teachable, you still own it. It's easy to use, it's beautiful. Kajabi is another one that I see people using that's really beautiful. It's specifically set up for hosting courses. I think it's a little more pricey than Teachable, but you can just do your own research. You find what works for you. Kartra is also a really wonderful model. I think it's for people who are further along in their business, because Kartra also has all these other moving parts. So that's probably not for you if you're just starting out. Udemy is another popular one. However, when you post your course on Udemy, your content is no longer yours. So I don't recommend Udemy, but I wanted to name it here because it's one that comes up a lot in conversations in the entrepreneurial world. All of these handle taking customer payments and organizing your content beautifully. So these are really great options to actually sell your course, not only host them. And another great option is that you can just host your course on a private page on your website. I did this for years. I actually still do this with a lot of my content. And then you can always just send a series of emails prompting your clients to complete their action items or to kind of presence the next lesson or the next step. So that's a super kind of low-key way to host your course. So please don't spend thousands and thousands of dollars hiring someone to do this for you, especially if you're just starting out. And even if you're seasoned, these are all really great platforms that the pros use. The third misconception around creating or launching a course that is actually profitable, the third misconception, this is actually a two-part misconception. Part one is a belief that you have to have a big following. The part two of that is the opposite, kind of having this belief in this magic bullet that you're just going to kind of put up your online course and people will just kind of magically somehow find it and buy it. So I'll talk about both of these just a little bit more. So the first misconception is about having a big following. You don't have to have a big following to create a course that is profitable and successful. My partner just came home, so my dogs are very happy. You can absolutely build a six-figure business without a website at all and without a big following. So I just wanted to name that. You do not have to have a big following, and we're going to address that in just a moment. The other misconception I just want to speak a little bit more deeply to is this magic bullet mindset that I'm just going to put up my online course and people just going to magically find it and buy it. Too many entrepreneurs, especially when they're just starting out, just kind of think they're going to hang up a shingle or hang up their sign and people will just flock to us. And I'm really sorry, but this is probably not the experience that you're going to have. I have watched so many women take weeks or months or even years creating a course, but then they didn't know how to market it. They didn't know how to talk about it. They didn't know how to sell it. And that course just sat there collecting dust. So here's how you can guarantee your course's six-figure potential, even if you don't have a big following. And this is where we circle back to power partners, tribal marketing, having a team of power partners. So I just want to give you an example. We looked at Maria Forleo when I showed you those examples of those incredible women in business. Maria Forleo with B School. I highlighted her Facebook page for you. Now, before she created B School, she already had an audience of thousands and thousands of subscribers. She had already done the work to build a really beautiful network of power partners, but you don't need thousands and thousands of followers, and you don't need a whole network of dozens of power partners, but you do need to do some work slowly over time in a relaxed way to build your audience. So I am a proponent of building your audience, building your email list. Otherwise, you are going to experience some launch fatigue and the stress and overwhelm of just trying to kind of fill your course all by yourself, alone in a vacuum. I want to do some power partner math with you, because well, let's do a little bit of math. So I want you to imagine that you have partnered with, that you're creating a webinar like this. Let's imagine you're creating a webinar kind of like this one. Let's say that you partner with 4 people and that those 4 people have email lists of, let's see, oh, people are typing in the chat, shoot, okay, oh, that's me, okay. I want to lay this out for you visually in the chat. So I want you to imagine that you've teamed up with 4 people. Each of those people has an email list of 5,000 followers. So 4 times 5, that's 20,000. And that those 4 people are like, hey, come to Denise's webinar. Come to Charlotte's webinar. That they've promoted your webinar for you. Let's say that of those 20,000 people that just got this email saying, hey, come to Alina's webinar, come to Jenny's webinar. Let's say only 2% of those 20,000 end up clicking and signing up for your webinar, which is kind of low, 2% click. It's a little bit low, but let's just say that's what happened. So 400 people click and sign up for your webinar. I also just want to name, if you had an audience of 400 people, what would you say? What course would you invite them into? If you had an audience of 400 people, what would you say? What would you invite them into? So you have this audience of 400 people that show up to your webinar, right? Awesome. And let's say 25% of them actually sign up, right? So 400 people attend your webinar. Let's say 25% of them end up signing up for your course. Then that means that you've just gained 100 new clients. Now, let's say that they just signed up for your $2,000 Cornerstone program. So those 100 people just signed up for your $2,000 Cornerstone program. It means with one webinar, you've just made $200,000 with one webinar. So I am naming this because this is the exact model that Marie uses, that Danielle uses, that Sage use. They're not out there promoting themselves all by themselves. They've got teams of cheerleaders who are out there saying, hey, check out Sage's incredible women's weekend. Hey, check out Marie's B School. Hey, check out Danielle's webinar. So I also just want to name that, you know, not everyone here wants to lead cattle call courses with 100 attendees. So maybe you don't want 100 signups. That's totally fine. This is just, I'm giving an example to just point to the power of having even just a few power partners. And I'm also highlighting, exactly, Alina says they have great copywriters. Yes, their messaging is aligned and it's clear. Thanks, Alina, for pointing that out. Yeah. I'm also highlighting the profitable path of having a Cornerstone program that's priced at around $2,000. So this is all about opening up to have more than just one or two sources of income in your business. I also just want to name, that you might be asking yourself, some of you might be like, well, Jessica, I don't really know a lot of women who have email lists of 5,000 subscribers that would collaborate with me, right? So if that's you, if you don't really know other people, other entrepreneurs that have lists of 5,000 followers that would promote you, then I'd like to invite you to just start surrounding yourself with other women or other entrepreneurs who are maybe a few steps ahead of you. In fact, I'm going to kind of give this to you as your aligned homework. When Gabby Bernstein, when she wrote her first book, which was a bestseller, she had a team of like dozens of other people promoting that book to their networks. That book was promoted out to hundreds of thousands of people, which is why it went to the #1 bestseller, because she had done the work. So you don't need dozens of power partners, but I want to encourage you to start to surround yourself with other entrepreneurs who are playing at the same level as you. Maybe they're a few steps ahead of you, other people that have followings, to just start to kind of build those relationships. In fact, right now during this pause is a really incredible time to be nourishing relationships, right? Like this is a powerful time to start hopping on the phone with people and just be like, hey girl, what's up? How can we collaborate? How can we support each other in the next year? So this is a really beautiful time. I'll give you an example of someone who's right here in our community who's is currently using collaboration in a really powerful way. Oh, Alina, I also just wanted, she says, I don't know those people. Alina, you're definitely in community here in FemTalks with a lot of women who have 2,000 people list, 5,000 people list, 20,000 people list. So just want to name that, yeah, that you, oh, sorry, Alana, I'm sorry, I misread that, Alana. Yeah, there's a lot of people right here in this community. So just be asking yourself, who do I know and who can I start surrounding my business with? And just see what opens up just from asking that question. Yeah. So I'm going to do another screen share here and give you this lovely example of this inspiring woman to just kind of give you a real-time example. Okay, here we go. Screen share. Thank you all so much for your patience while I dance with the tech. All right, so here she is. So this is Miss Eva, and she is literally right now in the midst of a launch. So basically what she's done is she has done the work of actually building some relationships with some other incredible community leaders, some other incredible luminaries and experts, and she's basically gathered them together to resource her community in this moment, to just give some incredible expertise and guidance around leadership, around kind of living your best life. And she has, in the last few weeks, grown a massive following for herself because she has partnered with these other inspiring people who are excited about their project that they've launched together, this kind of online show that they've all launched together, that she spearheaded, and they're out there saying, hey, check out this online show. I'm part of it, Eva's part of it. And it's been a really great way for Eva, who didn't have a massive following before, now does, because she was able to cast a really wide net with love, with relationship, with heart connection, with these other luminaries to grow her following. So I'm going to let this segue into a couple of powerful ways that you can sell your course. And I'm going to outline a couple of different models. So the first way, and I'll go ahead and just leave us on the screen share because you can take notes in your journal as well. So the number one way that wealthy lightworkers fill their courses, I kind of already spoke to a little bit earlier. They sell directly from webinars and workshops. I'm going to give you a model in a moment. If you lead workshops or you lead webinars and you don't want to do any selling during those workshops or those webinars, that's totally fine. I'm going to give you a really powerful example in a moment of how you can do that. But the number one way that wealthy lightworkers, all of these examples of Sage and Danielle and Marie that they use is that they sell directly from their webinars and their workshops. So here's what it looks like. They have their power partners promoting their webinar or their workshop. They lead the introductory webinar or live workshop, right? They give some really good information, really good details, really good tips and tools, really great content. And they sell their course directly during that webinar or that live workshop. So I'll give you another example of a woman right here in our community, one of my clients. Eva's one of my clients, but Terry Moon is also one of my clients, and she does this. She is a compassionate communication coach. She's an NVC coach. And she is just one of the most heart-connected mamas I've ever met. She just, if you ever have a chance to get a big warm hug from Terry, it is just so worth it. She's just big, mama bear, just big warm hug. She has these seasonal webinars that she creates around nonviolent communication, compassionate communication. She really helps people. I mean, these are just incredibly rich webinars. And when she teaches these webinars, 50 to 75% of the people who attend end up buying her course, which is reasonably priced. It's priced at about $1,000. And she does an incredible job because it's relational. She's connecting with their hearts. She's giving them really great content. Let's see. Another really great example. Oh, I'll talk about Usha in just a moment. I'm going to give you the second. So the first model is power partners promote your workshop or your webinar, give great content, and then you sell your course right there in the workshop or the webinar. What I love about the model is it's very streamlined. Now, some of the skills that you need to have in place in order to do this is that you definitely need to have some of the tech dialed in. Obviously, I'm doing a little bit of a clunky job today, but that's okay. We're all friends. I do recommend using Zoom because it's one of the easiest platforms, but yeah, there's like a little bit of a tech curve if you've never run a webinar before. Because of that, you might feel more inclined to do a live intro workshop. If you like that live component, that's completely fine. But one of the other skills that you have to have in place is that you need to have your offer dialed in. So the offer, sometimes called the irresistible offer, is the way that you, in your workshop, in your webinar, the way that you invite people into your course, into your program. It's the way that you talk about your course or your program so that people are pulling out their credit card right then and there in order to pay you. But there's also an art to inviting people to just have a free intake call with you. So there's a bit of an art to the offer. What do you say right then and there to your audience to stay connected to the audience, to maintain intimacy, to stand in your value, and to communicate what you're offering is just a natural next step for people who actually want to do the deeper work with you. So my clients actually get 3 step-by-step offer blueprint trainings to make their irresistible offers. The first blueprint is the offer, the way that you invite people when you're giving a live talk in a live audience. The second blueprint is the offer, the template for the offer, the blueprint for the offer that you make when you're hosting a webinar. And the third blueprint is for when you are leading a webinar or a workshop or giving a talk and you're just offering something that's free. So all 3 of these scenarios require a different flow, a different offer flow, a different way of inviting people to take a next step with you or buy your course from you. And all 3 of these can be massively effective in selling your online course. So anytime you're out in the world speaking or teaching or networking, you can always be giving people an opportunity to join your course. This is the key to selling your course to dozens or even hundreds of people every year. So dialing in that offer, the way that you invite people, how you flow that invitation is really a really important key tool to have. Now, I want to give you this other model, because if you're like me, I actually don't like selling. Like you're in this webinar with me, I don't want to sell to you. And I know some of you feel the same way. So the second option is all about one-on-one heart connection. Sometimes this is called having enrollment calls. So in a moment, I'm actually going to give you a powerful example of a woman who earned $86,000 in 2 months using this model that I'm about to give to you. So I'll give you her story in just a second. So the way this looks like is that you have an intro webinar or a live workshop. Same thing, you've got your power partners out there promoting it for you so that lots of people show up. And when you're in your webinar or your live workshop, all you're going to do, you're not going to sell your course. You're just going to tell them about your course. You're just going to say, hey, here's my course. And you're going to invite them to have an application call with you. Sometimes this is called an enrollment call. And if it is the right fit, right, if they schedule that call with you, if it's the right fit, then they can sign up with you. They can go ahead and join your course. What I love about this model is that it's so heart connected, right? It's very high touch. It's great if you don't want to do any selling during your webinars or workshops. It also allows you to charge more for your course because the ingredients of trust and intimacy are there in a way that's really hard to weave in when you're selling your course like right then and there on your webinar. So the skill that you have to make this model work is the art of enrollment, right? So this is the phone call or intake call. What do you say? What do you not say to these potential clients? There's a specific flow to the enrollment call that could be a whole workshop in and of itself. It's definitely something that I focus on hugely with my clients in my business mastery circles. In terms of giving a step-by-step blueprint for how to flow your enrollment conversations. So I'm going to go ahead and just give you a little example of a couple of women who use this model really, really beautifully with such heart. So Usha was part of my circles a couple years ago, and she ended up, she taught a workshop. Now her whole message, she's a spiritual mentor. This whole workshop was about prosperity and the goddess Lakshmi. Like it was a very woo, it was very out there, and that's what I love about Usha. She's just such an incredible spiritual teacher. So she gave this beautiful workshop and she just told people about her course, and she invited them to just, hey, if you want to find out more, go ahead and just schedule a call with me. So women in the workshop felt really compelled. They wanted to work with her. They wanted to find out more. And 15 of the women in the workshop I think there were probably about 30 or 40 women present. About half of them ended up signing up for her course from just that one talk. They ended up buying her course from that one talk. So she's really incredible. Now, here's the example I told you that I would give to you. Tara Christoph is currently in my business mastery circles, and she ended up teaching, it was actually a series of webinars. I think it was like there was 2 or 3 of them. And she ended up, this is back in January and February of this year. This is just a few months ago. And she earned $86,000 in 2 months promoting two different courses. 86,000, and this is the model she used. It was webinar. She told people about her course. People signed up to apply. She has women actually apply before they join her course. And she earned $86,000 in sales in 2 months. So, so inspiring. So I'm going to go ahead and come back to you here. So I just want to ask, first of all, has this been helpful for you? Have there been nuggets that have been helpful or clarifying? And you can type yes in the chat box. We will be going in, I'll give you a recap in a moment, and we will be going into Q&A pretty quickly. Awesome. Solara says, yes, it's been helpful. Good. Oh, good. Awesome. Woohoo! There's part of me that's like sweating over here like, oh, maybe I haven't been helpful enough. Awesome. Oh, great. Oh, fantastic. Okay. Yay. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Beautiful. Great. Oh, Arena says, this is helpful. My problem is finding power partners. Totally. Yeah, I would say, Arena, set that intention and just watch the opportunities that start coming into your life over the next year around just setting that intention. Yeah, yeah, beautiful. Awesome. I'm so glad this has been helpful. Let's do a little recap. Let's do a little recap. I'm going to do one more screen share. Now we're going to be screen shared here for about the next 5 minutes. So feel free to also just, take notes in your journal, because we're just going to go into another screen share, and then I'll come back to you for the Q&A. So let me go ahead and screen share this. Awesome. Here we go. So here's the recap. I want to give you a visual recap. So the first piece, let me just organize my notes real quick. The first piece was around having a clear and powerful message, right? The way that you talk about your course so it feels magnetic and clear and people immediately want to buy it. The second piece was just opening to the possibility of having a cornerstone course. It might be that it's, you charge $500 or $1,000 to begin, that's fine, but possibly moving into charging $2,000 to $3,000. It prepares people to want to work even deeper with you. And your cornerstone course is in addition to your other offerings, other workshops, other webinars, other programs you might have. So it's just part of what you're offering, right? Multiple streams of income. And then the third piece we covered was about growing your audience. And I really did want to make a point that you don't have to have a huge following, but there is an ongoing intention and need to be growing your email list, to be growing your audience with people who are primed to buy your course. And one of the ways you can grow your own audience is through the audiences of other people, which leads us to the next piece we talked about, which is power partners, which really is the fastest way to grow your following. It's great. Working with power partners is great if you don't yet have a big audience. To inspire, there's an art to inspiring people to be excited to promote you. And when other people are promoting you, it automatically establishes you as a community leader. It's the fastest way to grow your own following. The next thing we talked about was making irresistible offers, right? So the way that you invite people into your programs so that they're pulling out their credit card, that they're signing up, so that anytime you're out in the world speaking or teaching or networking, you can always be giving people an opportunity to join your course without being pushy, without being salesy, but with by making a heartfelt invitation. And then the final big piece that we talked about, that we just finished talking about, is one-on-one enrollment. Great if you don't want to do any selling during your workshops or webinars. It allows you to, oh, am I freezing? Let's see, can you still hear me? Okay, awesome, great. Oh, I'm seeing a bunch of chats in the chat box. Okay, great. What was the last thing you heard? Because I froze. Go ahead and unmute yourself and just let me know.
You were talking about Power Partners?
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so Power Partners. I'll just say that having a team of Power Partners, building those Power Partner relationships is really great if you don't yet have a big audience, right? It's a great way to establish yourself as a community leader, and working with Power Partners is the fastest way to grow your following if you don't have a big following. There's also this art to inspiring people to want to promote you. There's a bit of an art to that dance. The next thing we talked about was making irresistible offers, the way that you invite people into your program so that they immediately want to sign up. And also just having a way that anytime you're out in the world speaking, teaching, networking, you can always have a way to invite people to join your course, the way that you talk about your course, the way that you invite them in, mastering the art of making an offer, making an invitation. And the final piece we talked about was one-on-one enrollment, which is really great if you don't want to do any selling during your webinars or workshops. It allows you to charge more for your course. It allows you to heart connect. I love heart connecting one-on-one with women. It's really nourishing for me. And selling your course, enrollment is really all about selling your course when you're connecting one-on-one, but without being salesy or pushy. So I want you to type into the chat box which of these items you imagine, you know that you need to refine or grow. Where do you need to grow? Any of these pieces that we talked about, and go ahead and just type into the chat box, just to name them for yourselves, just to be witnessed. Beautiful. In a moment, I'm going to open up to Q&A, so just know that that's coming. Beautiful. Awesome. Great shares. Thank you so much. Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you so much for being authentic, beautiful Power Partners. A lot of folks looking to up-level their offers and their Power Partners, their messaging. Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you. Beautiful. Okay, great. So I'm going to open up to Q&A in just a moment, but I just wanted to make my invitation to you to model this for you so you get to see this in real live action. I wanted to just invite you to ask yourself, what if you could set up these exact pieces that we covered to make thousands of dollars in just a couple months or just a couple weeks, just like Usha and Tara, the examples I gave? What if I could help you with your clear and powerful message, create your cornerstone course, your intro workshops, your webinars, grow your audience, your Power Partners, make irresistible offers, dial in your one-on-one enrollment? So I wanted to invite you to find out more about joining my business mastery circles, which are all about helping you to launch your workshops, your webinars, your courses swiftly, but also in ways that really honor your energy levels and your unique goals. So remember, I talked about building my business from food stamps to 6 figures while I was grappling with debilitating illness. So it's really important to me to support women in growing a business that really honors their personality, their energy levels, helping you launch in a way that's really in alignment with that, helping you attract waves of the right clients and therefore income again and again. I named that I called in 12 new paying clients in the last 6 weeks because I've set up my business to attract the right clients in ways that are very feminine. And to help you scale. If you're a more established business owner, helping you scale beyond your current reach, maybe even nationally or internationally. So my business mastery circles do include one-on-one coaching. I would support you to create a finished, polished cornerstone course. It could also be a group program that you're creating that deeply serves people, but also sets them up to want to work even more deeply with you. We would create a business plan to turn your expertise and ideas into powerful, prosperous talks and workshops and webinars so that everything in your business fits together like a cohesive money-making ecosystem. And of course, I would give you loving accountability to accomplish what you want to accomplish this next year. Part 2 of the Business Mastery Circles is the Wisdom Vault, which is a bunch of wonderful trainings. 2 of the trainings that I offer to women in my Business Mastery Circles are how to sell a $2,000 to $20,000 program without being salesy or pushy. And these are basically 2 step-by-step trainings for how to flow your one-on-one enrollment conversations. And Tara Christoph and Amanda Aloesh lead these trainings with me. And I gave you their examples a little bit earlier on. Also, a really wonderful resource, Craft Your Irresistible Offer. I give you 3 blueprints. 1 blueprint for when you're giving a live talk in front of a live audience, another blueprint for when you're hosting a webinar like this, and another blueprint for if you're making an offer live or virtual or through your webinar when you're offering something that's free. So anytime you're out in the world speaking or teaching or networking, you can always be a yes if people are wanting to buy your course. And just imagine how selling your course, not just online, but everywhere you go, could increase your income. And another really wonderful training that I'm actually releasing this summer is called 6-Figure Webinar Business, where I give you the webinar marketing launch blueprint. I give you a template to flow your webinar content. I also give you the how to weave your offer into your webinar. And I even give you example slides if you'd like to use slides, kind of like the way I'm doing here today. So if you want to use slides, I actually give you example slides. And then some other really great trainings and step-by-step blueprints you get through the Wisdom Vault support you to grow your audience and your email list with people who actually want to buy your programs, attracting waves of clients and income again and again, and tools to establish yourself as the trusted go-to expert with really clean, clear messaging that really emotionally connects to people so that people are immediately wanting to hire you and pay you well. And then the final piece is the community, the circles. I offer live and virtual options. This picture was actually taken last year at one of our live circles. And the cool thing about being part of this circle is that I will teach you, and then you will also learn firsthand the art of building win-win collaborative business relationships. Remember that this is power partners are the #1 way that wealthy women entrepreneurs fill their workshops and webinars and courses. So you have this built-in team of supported power partners that are in the circle with you. Some of these women have email lists. Some of my clients have email lists of 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 followers. Imagine if even just one of them promoted your upcoming workshop. You'll also be getting loving feedback around your course content and your messaging so that you can talk about your course in a way that's magnetic and has that ooh-ah factor and that people actually want to buy it even before it's ready. You're also surrounded by some of the women in the circle, women with experience. Some of the women in the circle have already launched their courses more than once, so you also get their valuable perspective. And women in my circles become the best tech support for each other because a lot of them have some experience running webinars and can give you webinars, courses, and can give you some solid tips and pointers if you're just starting out. So it really takes the guesswork out of everything. You don't have to figure out any of this alone. a couple of my current clients. This last year, Debbie Boucher sold her first $10,000 program. She's a hypnotherapist. I first met Debbie and I was like, Debbie, you're sitting on a six-figure or multiple six-figure business. We tweaked some things in her messaging. We tweaked some of the ways she organized some of her offerings. We really, we took a close look at her pricing, because she also has some really wonderful, accessible offerings, but she was able to sell her first $10,000 program. Ivy LeClaire is a leadership coach, and she was kind of just birthing her new business, and she ended up earning $5,000 in just two weeks with her course. Brianna Kavanaugh is a financial bliss mentor. She was part of my circle she did several rounds of my circle and ended up growing her business to the multiple six-figure level. She ended up, in 1 year of circle with me, she ended up selling 10 of her $2,000 to $10,000 programs. So she made six figures just from two of her programs that were priced slightly differently. Just from that. And she also had other offerings that were also earning her income during that time. So I want to invite you to just find out more and connect with me if you're feeling called to maybe joining the circle, joining my business mastery circles. I want to invite you. I'll go ahead and type this into the chat box as well, which you'll be able to see better once we've kind of come out. All you have to do is email me. Just shoot me an email. I would love to just drop in with you one-on-one to just heart connect. If you know me, you know that I am a zero pressure kind of lady. I will not pressure you. This is really about us just connecting and me answering all of your questions. I would also be happy if you did choose to join. I would be happy to give you a 25% discount should you choose to join. So I just want to offer that to you. And if you email me today, I have another bonus that I'd like to give to you, which is my step-by-step master course called Launch Your Online Program in 90 Days or Less. And let's get your online course created and launched and prosperous. It's a step-by-step master course. It's a $2,000 value. And I would love to I'll give it to you for free should you join the circle. If you send me your email today, if you email me today to book our one-on-one connection call together, I will give this to you for free with your circle membership. So it's a step-by-step master course to vision your course, to create your course, to price your course, to market your course. And I'm actually going to give you 5 ways to sell your course. We only talked about 2 ways to sell your course today. I'm going to give you the other 3 ways that you can sell your course, and also how to keep attendees engaged, because there's nothing worse than putting something out there only to find that the people who buy it aren't really showing up. So that's another piece. So we've got really just a few minutes left together. We're going to be going into the Q&A. So email me while we're together and you'll get the bonuses. Bonus number 1, 25% off the entire circle membership should you choose to join. And free if you choose to join. You'll also get the Launch Your Online Program in 90 days or less. So yay. So go ahead, and I'm going to take us out of the screen share. But you can go ahead and schedule your heart connection call with me. And I also just want to name that my business mastery circles are affordable. I mentioned that I just signed on 12 new clients this last 6 weeks, and all of them said, wow, Jessica, that's really reasonable. Thank you. So I just wanted to name that. And if you are interested, but maybe you're not quite sure if you can start right away, go ahead and still email me. It's totally fine. We can still have the conversation even if you're not able to start until the summer or the fall. That's completely fine. So please do. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put this on the group view, and I'm going to stop the recording because I want you to feel like you can just ask whatever question you want about what we covered today. So let me go ahead and stop the recording.